Hey everyone, it's Sensei Victoria Whitfield here, your journey partner in business, welcoming you back to episode 133 of the Journeypreneur podcast. This is your source for channeled holistic stress management techniques, guidance, inspiration, and motivation from the best to stay on your path to rapid financial ascension and massive impact as a conscious entrepreneur. So in today's podcast episode, we are doing a new thing. This is the first time. So I've had the honor and pleasure of interviewing incredible journeypreneurs from all over the world in all different kinds of industries and incomes, from startup to hundreds of millions, on this podcast. And they've been sharing their stories. And what's been interesting, though, is that over here on Facebook, we've been doing Entrepreneur Master Manifestor work and inspiring one another to really get into busting money blocks. And along the way, I got to leading meditations with an organization called BIG. And along the way of doing those meditations, Andrea Mastrobattista and I really connected on another level. We had met briefly before in person, but during this, right now at the streaming of this podcast right now, it's May, so we're still kind of in coronavirus time. Mm-hmm. And so everything's online. And since meditating with Big regularly, I've been seeing Andrea more, and we've been talking a lot more, and holy cow, I had to have her on my podcast, but she did me another one up, and she's like, well, can I be your guinea pig for money block busting? I have this situation. I was wondering if you could help me move through it. And absolutely. So welcome to the podcast, Goddess.
Thank you. Goddess is on parade.
I love it. So Andrea Mastrobattista, she's an inspirational speaker. She's known for her stories of sharing her spinal bifida journey. And you can find her, especially as an inspirational speaker, at operationinspiration.com. Mm-hmm. And she also has another business, a second business, where she does web design. She and I share that web techie vein. Yes, yes, Goddess. And you can find her web design business over at goldenslipperproductions.com. Now, Andrea, this may be the very first time that someone's listening or watching in that they get to meet you and hear about you. And I was wondering, to kick us off on our interview together, could you tell us what are the 3 things, in your words, that you're known for? Could you tell us?
Okay. Well, it changes and evolves over time, but for the most part, I am known for transforming supposed negative situations into positive situations, helping people to get out of their own way, and most especially for helping people to realize and then manifest, if you will, the fact that every single one of us, no matter what challenges we face, we have the ability to create and live our most fulfilling and inspiring lives. And I live that every single day, and never more so than now, for a couple of reasons.
Mm-hmm. Who do tell? What are those reasons?
Okay. Well, as you mentioned, first and foremost, I have spina bifida, which is a birth condition. So I've always dealt with challenges, and I've always approached life and challenges. If I am unable to do something in a conventional way, if it's something I really want to do, I will find an alternative way to do it. And I won't stop until I do. So I've carried that over into my business, and just to bring that kind of into present day, a few years ago into present day, back in 2017, I started to feel that my workshops that I do, the topics, I was recycling topics, it was getting a little stale, and I was praying to the gods and goddesses, please give me more, please give me new topics. Well, nearly 3 years later, I partially jokingly say, be careful what you wish for, because on the actual date was August 28th, 2017. I was diagnosed with what's called a stage 4 pressure ulcer. And that required immediate bed rest. And what it is, it's a pressure wound or pressure, it's actually an actual ulcer from sitting in my wheelchair for 2 reasons. Number 1, I was at least 50 pounds overweight. And number 2, I had a wheelchair cushion that was vastly out of date, and I had dragged my feet on getting a new one. So I am very clear in that I'm also a Brene Brown fan. So I Brene Brown the heck out of myself, and because I blamed myself when I got the diagnosis on that day. I went into like full on Oprah ugly cry, and this is my fault, and I knew that my family was going to have to take care of me, and I was my mom was there at the doctor's office when I got my diagnosis, and I'm like, I'm sorry, full on ugly cry. But I also, from my training as an inspirational speaker, knew that if I let myself stay in that negative place, I wasn't going to heal, because I also knew from what the doctors and nurses were saying, I didn't know how long the journey was going to be, but I knew it was going to be a long journey. So that's a long-winded way of answering your question, but this was, I had asked for new material. Well, I got it in the form of this pressure wound, because I then took this journey after about a week of digesting everything and getting used to it. I took the journey onto social media. I'm very active on social media with both my businesses, and I shared with what I now call my Inspira family, or my Inspira fam, hashtag Inspira fam, what was happening. Because with all of my workshop, with anything I do, it comes from my life, and I wanted to share with people, okay, I'm in the dregs here, but I'm going to get myself out of it, and not to sound show-offy, but watch me do it. I'm inviting you on the journey, and it has been good, bad, and ugly. Every day I go on social media, I either do a post or a Facebook Live or an Instagram Live or whatever, and it's a great day. The wound is getting smaller, or today sucks. The wound is either plateauing or it's gotten bigger. So I share. I'm going to say you have to leave a little bit for yourself. You can't, you don't share everything. You need some privacy. But I'm going to say I've shared 90 to 95% of it. So yeah, and people ask me why, and my answer is, I know no other way. I've pretty much, at least in my adult life, always been like that, whether I've had the business or not. I've always somehow known that the spina bifida, or any physical challenge I'm dealing with, it's not a curse, it's a gift, because it's an opportunity to let people know that credo of, no matter what you face, you have the ability to create and live your most fulfilling life. If there's a breath in my body and a thought in my head, I'm still living, and I have the ability to create that life.
Amen. And so it is, and so fabulously said, Goddess. Oh my goodness, I love it. And this makes me curious, though, what got you on the path to having a business? Because, not everyone that has spina bifida or has had like a serious health challenge or ongoing chronic disease has started a business. Like, what was there something that inspired you in the first place to?
Yes. It's kind of two-pronged, because in my younger years, if you will, I'm going to be 53 in a month, literally a month and 2 days.
Yeah.
I'm still that geeky kid at almost 53 that counts. Like, my birthday's June 8th. For all the other, my birthday's June 8th. Okay. So anyway, I've heard that word inspire all of my life, and as a kid, it was a intimidating mantle to have to carry. Anytime somebody said, because oh, what you're so inspirational. You actually learned how to walk upstairs. With braces and crutches. You're so inspirational. You've done this. You've done that. And I used to. It was kind of like I was like shying away from the word. But then somewhere along the lines, somewhere I think in my 20s, and I'm still trying to pinpoint that exact moment. I didn't have the business at that time, but I was sort of informally talking to peer groups and Boy Scout groups, Girl Scout groups, church groups about my life in a wheelchair and how I've overcome certain challenges. So I wasn't doing it as a full-time career, but I was in corporate America for the better part of 16 years. And back in 2004, end of 2004, I was downsized from corporate America. December 15th, 2004 was probably one of the best days of my professional life, because I literally, God bless anybody who is in corporate America. It just, my biggest takeaway from 16 years in corporate America is it's not for me to do full time. It's not who I am. And I learned, in hindsight, I learned a lot of valuable lessons, but they were hard fought. So I was downsized, and the company I was with gave each of the downsized people 3 months free with a career counseling service. And in speaking with my career counselor, he literally asked me that proverbial interview question that you hear: where do you see yourself in 5 or 10 years? And literally, Victoria, in that moment, it was like the Oprah aha moment. I heard myself saying, anytime, because I got asked that question in every single interview with that throughout my career. And no matter where I was in my career, the answer was always a little bit different. But the sentence that was always there was, I want to inspire people consistently. I can't remember a time when it wasn't there. So that's what I said to this career counselor. And he said, okay, well, let's figure out how to do this. You are a communications professional. You are comfortable in front of an audience. Why don't you give what he called at the time, because this is going back 15, 16 years, why don't you give what he called keynote speeches about your life in a wheelchair? To which I said, been there, done that, own several t-shirts. And I was like, okay, because this is the message that, not to generalize, but I'm going to generalize, that, people with a handicap, we're talking about their life dealing with the handicap, as well they should. That's their life. But I was shying away from it because I didn't want to be put in that box. Mm-hmm. And he said, well, wait a minute. He says, you can certainly talk about other things, but let that this is your life experience. Let that be the entree in. So I did. And I kind of danced around the topic, because I even started with this generic finding the career meant for you, because I knew that somehow that I'd found this with the inspirational speaking. So I just started doing, again, speaking formally. I formed Operation Inspiration. It's an LLC. I was speaking to church groups, professional groups, schools. It's wherever I could get, whatever I could get my hands on. So that's literally how that came to be.
Love it. I love it. I love it. Yeah. I couldn't agree with you more. There's a certain point when you're working in corporate America, or I was actually working in the medical field, medical billing and coding. Not even like the cool stuff of like, I'm a doctor, I'm a nurse, I'm saving lives. No, I'm billing people.
You're a desk jockey.
Yeah, ew.
Yeah, yep.
There's a certain point where you're just like, this was not, when I thought of my life, this was not what it looked like. Chained to a desk, in business professional outfits. I look good in whatever I wear, but I'd rather be in like a caftan, like what I'm wearing right now. Yeah. So I couldn't agree with you more. And this is so powerful, because that that idea of inspiration has been following you your entire life. Like, I get the chills as I say that, because I I feel very deeply that that's a calling. If something's been following your whole life, it's like, oh, calling you here, calling you here, calling to inspire, to inspire, to inspire. That's a calling on your life and will follow you all the rest of your days. It's an amazing thing.
And the word literally wouldn't go away. So I flew in the face of it, and I called my company Operation Inspiration. So,
yeah, if you're gonna follow me, I had better get paid. Yeah, I feel you. I feel you. And with that in mind, I want to bring us to your money situation. And
Good.
like before we get into it, when we're talking about releasing blocks, all blocks are energy. All blocks are energy. So this is not like I'm not going to reach through the camera and take a block physically off of your body. Like there's something, this is an energy thing. And there are 3 classifications of energy blocks. There's wealth, health, and love. Right? So,
honey, I got them all.
I'm a blockhead. Give it to me.
Let's unblock them all. Let's just unblock them all.
This is why I'm saying this. So there's 3 classifications, and when we're working on releasing an energy block of any kind, focus is powerful. Like I'm a unicorn just like you. When you give me options, I'm like, I take them all. Absolutely give me the rainbow flavor, right? And with that, though, in order to really taste the rainbow, it's one flavor at a time.
I know. And I'm a Gemini, so I'm like, give me all the flavors. But then I'm like, I need the person that's going to help me focus. And I think, I mean, I've got, with the wound healing, I've got the physical. Now let's work on the financial. We'll do the love later on. We'll do the love connection later on.
Yeah, it's coming, and so it is.
Yeah.
So it is. Yeah. With that being said, consent is sexy. Do I have your permission, asking for consent, to focus on the wealth block today?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay. And with that, okay, tell me about your wealth block. Like, how would you describe the current money situation?
Okay. Well, actually, it literally and it goes back a long way, which is this. This is why I'm excited about this, because this is going to help a lot of people. So I told you I started the Operation Inspiration in 2005, and things were, it takes time, as you know, to build a business. So things were going along well, and things were starting to build up. I was starting to build an audience. Then, fast forward to 2008. What happened in 2008? The economy crashed, and now here's how the energy works. Here's how because I realized this in hindsight. My workshops started to become a luxury item because people were not in thriving mode; they were in survival mode. So they didn't consider any workshop I was doing around that topic of creating and living your most fulfilling life as a necessity. And by the way, it should have been, not to shit all everybody, but it should have been. And I jokingly kept saying, it's a luxury, it's a luxury. Well, jokingly, the more you say it, the more it becomes ingrained in your own brain. So I started to very quickly actually fall back on the web design business, because people still needed a way to promote their businesses that I could use that skill. And I said to myself, okay, I'm going to use that skill until I can pick up Operation Inspiration again. Well, I'm going to say this because, like I said, it's an open book. I'm ashamed to say Operation Inspiration. I can't remember the expression, but if you're not actively making money at something, it's become a hobby. Well, I think people were seeing it now. That's your hobby, Golden Slipper is your real business. That's a real thing. This is just like a hobby, like a fake thing, a hobby or whatever. And it was becoming that in my own mind. So that in effect, that was kind of a denial of who I really was. Not that the web design isn't of value. It's absolutely of value, and it got me through tough times. But my focus now, while I'm concurrently doing Operation Inspiration, because let's be realistic, you've got to pay the bills. But I want to make Operation Inspiration it's why I was put here. So I need to take that and make that my living, and do this for people, and just because I think this will help you to get me through the block. I still have a block in that so many people. I mean, I'm a big I'm a Wayne Dyer fan still, and Louisa Hay fan still in their death, and God bless them both. There are so many people in this field. One of my blocks is around how do everybody's saying basically the same thing, and Louise has said this. We just say it in a different way. How do I say this in a different way to differentiate myself? Because that's been one of my blocks of every time. I feel like every time I come up with something, somebody else has said it better. But I know that logically I can do this, but it's that emotional of like, I'm not saying it as good as some, so it's the emotional block, clearly. So I need to break through that so that I can make this my living and support myself doing what I love. So there you go. That's a lot.
And so it is. Oh, that's nothing, baby. Give it to me. It can never be too much. Never. And by the way, that is another block. That was a lot. I said a lot, or sucking back. Like, trust me, if you got a fire hose, I've got a burning house for you to put out, mama. No, it is. So with that, what I heard, for one, where there was the differentiation was between that's a luxury versus this is a necessity.
Right.
And holy crow, the time that we are streaming this right now.
Yeah, that's another thing. I'm like, yeah, hello.
Yeah, this is so powerful that people, like in Corona time right now, or as Tony Baker would say, the beverage virus, which I sincerely enjoy reframing it as that during Corona time, there's that, all of the inspirational, holistic energy, life coaching, or all of the, like, insert self-care and personal growth and development thing in here. All of that is a luxury, thrown out the window. And this toilet paper is a necessity. Like, this is
I know, that's like the bare but little, no pun intended. That's like down to basics, So we're getting back to basics again. So like one half of my brain goes, am I an idiot at this point to be, wanting to reinvigorate this business? And the other half of my brain's going, no, because the world needs this so sorely, so much, because we're hurting. Amen. So we need,
Hey man, I'm high-fiving the second part of your brain. Yeah, I couldn't agree with that goddess more. And so what's at the basis of every block is the story. And in the basis of every story is words, and at the basis of every word is a definition. The basis of every definition is a vision, an image, right? And when we have clear images, we live them, right? That's called manifesting, where you take an image and you create it here in sensual reality, sight, sound, taste, touch, smell, something that seeing is believing, not just in your head, but outwardly expressed here in reality. So we've been going into the story around the block, and what's come out is a myriad of words and ideas of, luxury versus necessity. I want to take those words especially and use them not against you, but for you.
Mm-hmm.
Because every single money block, I want you to remember this, every single money block that you have, emotional, physical, operational, etc., every single money block is worth millions.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So as we embrace that money block, behind it, like I almost want you to imagine like the top of a champagne glass, like it's still corked.
Mm-hmm.
That money block, right? The abundance is going to flow out. There's pressurized abundance right behind the one thing that actually you think the lowest of.
Mm-hmm.
It's very interesting. In the universe, we see dyads, the light and dark, forward and back, left and right, male and female, right? Think of the yin yang. There are two sides to everything. So the deeper the emotional wound, or the more the frustration behind the block, the more like, oh, let me uncork that, because that's where the money is.
Mm-hmm.
So with that being said, okay, toilet paper versus inspiration. We're going there.
Mm-hmm.
Toilet paper versus inspiration. You know, apparently people have an unlimited amount of money to spend on toilet paper right now.
Mm-hmm.
They've literally bought entire stores out.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason why, and I want to unpack this and then hand it to you. The reason why is because toilet paper solves a problem.
Mm-hmm.
Solves a problem. Does it really, by the way? No. No, you're like, it creates problems too, but
Mm-hmm.
that's another podcast. But it's very clear that when something is defined as a necessity and people are putting a money on it, it's
Mm-hmm.
because there's a very clear problem that
Mm-hmm.
it solves.
Mm-hmm.
Problems, the more that we clarify what problems we're solving, the more money you're capable of making.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to step back for a second from that. As an energy healer, I understand that we want to focus on the positive and orient to healing it and like inspiration and take people higher. If we focus future or on where we're going, we may tell the stories of the past, but for the only reason is to point in the direction that we are going.
Right.
However, turning back and looking at the problems behind inspiration is where the money is for operationinspiration.com.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm curious, with that being said, what's dropping in for you? Inspirational speaking, like you sharing your story. There's
Mm-hmm.
no other Andrea Mastrobattista in the world.
Mm-hmm.
So what problem does that solve for people? I'm curious.
That's a good question. It's a good question. And my biggest fear is that I'm going to sit here for 5 minutes without an answer.
Don't worry, I won't leave you hanging, but I'm going to let you stew in it for a little while.
That's okay. I'll stew with the juice. I'll stew with the juice. I maybe I'll reframe it and say the problem that I want to solve, and I feel like I'm on this. Some inspirational speakers that you see, like they're the industry experts, if you will. They're here, and then their audience is here, or so the audience feels. I like to put myself on that even playing field. So, and I always tell one of my inspirations is Cheryl Richardson, and she always says, or often says, "I'm teaching the things that that I still need to learn." And it's so true. We can teach them. We know in our souls what the answers are, but I'm often learning these. Practically, I'm learning it along with my audience. So I'm also solving the problem for myself, because I also think I'm on this journey to living my most fulfilling and inspiring life. I don't know if I'm there yet, but I certainly know I'm on the journey. So it is about the journey. So in some aspects, I feel like I'm living it every day. In some aspects, I feel like I'm not fully living it. So I think the problem, as I solve the problem for myself, I will be better at helping other people solve it. So did that partially answer the question, at least?
You're in the juice, and this is so delicious.
Okay.
Right? You are dripping with wealth right now,
Okay.
in everything that you just said.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to reflect back to you because
Mm-hmm.
you're in expression mode. And when we're in expression mode, we'll say amazing things and have no idea what happened. Thank God for recordings. And
Yeah, I know. I can't wait to go back. Because I'm like, right now, I'm like, can we swear?
yes,
I'm like, what the hell did I say?
I'm right there with you, goddess. I got you. So
I just because I can drop an F-bomb every here and there.
girl, we are from New Jersey. Speak English.
No, okay, all right, then literally it's like, what the fuck did I say?
Yeah. Yeah. What the fuck was that? Absolutely. And it's so important
Mm-hmm.
to be witnessed. And this is what we're doing right now.
Mm-hmm.
You know, as an energy healer, this is a side note. What I found the most profound healings happen when you just watch. When you just watch and witness and reflect back of this is what I'm seeing. I've seen bones reset themselves without being touched by any other hand or anything. It's absolutely incredible. So coming back to here's what you just said.
Mm-hmm.
Most inspirational speakers see themselves a degree above the people that they're speaking to.
Mm-hmm.
I don't.
Mm-hmm.
I see myself on the same playing field.
Yeah.
That is value number one.
Mm-hmm.
Value number two, I am on a journey in my own life to figure this thing out about how to be the best version of myself.
Mm-hmm.
And the people that I'm speaking to, I guess they are too.
Mm-hmm.
And we are accompanying each other on the journey.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what you just said. That is so valuable because you tell me, what would it be like if in your journey right now you had absolutely no one to talk to and no books to read about people who've been working on something or working through something? What would it be like to not know that there was anyone else who had been through something difficult and was working through it, hadn't figured it out necessarily yet, right? They're not perfect.
That would suck because that's my juice. That would, yeah, that would, I mean, I think if more people were honest about, instead of putting them, and I'm not, and I shouldn't say that most, I know inspirational speakers that put themselves in that, expert level. But if more people were that Brene Brown vulnerable and say, I'm in the suck right now, but that's okay because there's a lot of people, and let's share that experience and let's help each other out of it. That's who I want to be. I want to be in the trenches with you, not above you. I want to be in that trench helping you out. So if I can, if because we're not all at the same place on the journey, so if I can lift you out, great. But if I'm on the same rung of the ladder with you, helping you out, that's awesome too. So yeah.
Which is so powerful, so juicy, right? And that word juicy was the first thing that you said when I asked you, what would it be like if you yourself didn't have inspiration, right? Or inspirational people, speakers, etc.
It would suck.
That would suck because that's my juice.
Mhm.
Okay. So tell me, is juice a necessity?
Is that juice a necessity? Yes, absolutely.
Tell
So
me why. Tell me, sell the product to me, child. Yes. Tell me why.
because I help people. There's so many people that are surviving right now, and I have said I don't want to just survive. I want to thrive. And not only that, I like to put things in the present. I don't like the word will. Some wonderful person gave me inspirational socks. I have I've been like since I've been on bed rest, I'm wearing mostly sweats. I mean, this is the most dressed I've been. I've been wearing sweats and stuff. But the thing that I've gotten like fancy with is I have like cool, awesome socks. Somebody gave me socks that say, I can and I will. I so want to cross out the word will and put it in the present tense and say I am. That is my juice right now. Of because most people, or a lot of people, if they say I will, they're not going to do it.
Exactly.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I'll do that. I'll do that like in 5 years. And I'll give you a prime example. Uh, I have been writing a children's book for the last 8 years. I have not finished it yet. There's shame around that. I have not yet put that in the present tense because I just said I have been writing, or I was writing because I stopped writing every once in a while. I just started again. That's the fountain pen story. Um, when you put things in the present tense, whether you're doing it or not, it puts that in your brain and it starts to make it real. So I will. I don't like the words I will. I am doing it. Even if I'm physically not doing it yet, I'm saying I am doing it. And the more I say I'm doing it, the more I'll tell the fountain pen story. Years ago, my brother gave me a fountain pen, a beautiful cross fountain pen for my birthday because I'm a writer.
Yes.
And it's kind of like your fine china. You feel like you break it out on special occasions. I have this fountain pen. Why can't I have the ink? Why can I not write in it in my journal every day? Even if I'm writing in a $2 from ShopRite composition journal, I hadn't broken it out in a long time, to the point where I didn't even know where it was. And yesterday afternoon, I found it in a drawer. And this morning, 10 minutes before I got online with you, I filled up the ink and I wrote my journal. And I said, I'm writing with my fountain pen again. It's the first sentence I wrote. I didn't feel worthy of the fountain pen. I now feel worthy of the fountain pen again. And it makes me cry. So yeah. So I will finish the children's book. I am finishing the children's book, and I am finishing it this year. So that is my commitment to you on the podcast, on wherever this goes, on Facebook, on YouTube, on iTunes, wherever this. I am finishing the children's book this year.
Yes,
I am. Not I will. I am. So
I love it. Even in you sharing that beautiful sequence about how you are finishing the book this year, there's juice in that.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, I feel the sensation of my listeners right now of so many hearts fluttering of like, oh yeah, I put that on the shelf years ago.
Mm-hmm.
But that inspirational juice of taking that you just shared, of moving from non-action to action, right? Moving from on the shelf to no, in hand and in progress. Right now, that is life-changing. That is extremely valuable.
And you just gave me an aha moment, and I'm gonna coin it right here on video. Okay, because you said you used on the you put that on the shelf. You know what I did? I put myself on the shelf. See, I put myself, and I'm gonna write about this. I not only put the, the book, the stuff, I put who I am. I put myself on the shelf. I put, it's like, okay, I'm a TV and movie freak. You know the movie Dirty Dancing. Who doesn't know the movie
Yes.
I put baby in the corner. I put baby in the corner. And I'm the one that has I'm the one that has the power to take baby out of the corner and off the shelf. I'm the one that has the power. So, yeah.
So this is so awesome.
So,
like the juice, by the way, is increasing the more that it's interesting. The more that we dive into the story and all the words inside the block, the more juice just comes bursting out. I mean, we've uncorked it, so might as well.
That's why I'm so excited to continue we will continue the conversation somehow. So absolutely.
Absolutely. So here's where I want it, now that you're overflowing with juice and you're seeing your value, we're seeing the value of operationinspiration.com. We're going to put if we were going to cause it to be a product or a business, you're seeing the value. The value is the juice, because without the juice is the suck, right? Or is the shock. It's the juice or the suck. What do you want?
Yeah.
And so there are plenty of people out there who are stuck in the suck, or who are stuck on the shelf. Put themselves there. And wouldn't it be amazing if they had access to something that someone someone put together that was like a juice infusion? I'm just like, I'm getting off the shelf. Tell me.
I feel like my platform is take yourself off the shelf. So it's well, anyway, it's part of the whole platform. The platform is still creating and living your most fulfilling life, but a huge part of that is you got to take yourself off the shelf to do it.
Amen, sister.
Amen. And that's all about authenticity. It's all about the basics. It's just how I'm saying it in my own unique way. And thank you, because you just helped me say it. That's part of that. That's see what you do is such value too, because you pull it out of people. Sometimes it's easier. Sometimes it must be like pulling teeth, but like that the world needs those people that can pull that out of. You just helped me get myself off the shelf. So, yeah.
Oh, look at that integration.
Yeah. The interesting bit is what I need to explore going forward is, okay, I'm getting myself off of this shelf. How do I stay off the shelf?
All right.
Yeah.
We got time. We're going into it. Let's do this. So, hindsight is 2020. The year also is 2020. So hindsight is 2020. When people were following you in the past for Operation Inspiration, what were they following? Were they following a book? Were they following seeing you speak? Were they following certain organizations that were hosting you to speak?
Both of those. They were following organizations that saw that for the most part I was speaking at different organizations, and they were following me speaking, and they were following me on social media. To the point where on social media I try to post some sort of inspiration, whether it be a Facebook or Instagram live or a quote or something that I found between 8 and 9 o'clock in the morning. Eastern time. If I have not done that, I will be getting texts and DMs of like, "Are you okay? Where are you? We need our inspiration." So the need is clearly there, because people were like freaking like, "Where are you?" Like, and I did it yesterday too. Yesterday, for whatever reason, it was like shiny object day. Like different things were distracting me to the point where I didn't post something inspirational, my regular inspirational post, I think, to almost 8 p.m. So I literally said, Inspire fam, I didn't forget you guys. It just was a very somewhat challenging day. So I have to get it in every day or people freak out. So that's an awesome thing because I know they need it.
Yes, right.
Yeah.
So there are people who value the juice.
The juice, they need the juice. Exactly. Yeah,
Yes.
I got your juice right here. I got your juice right here, people.
Well, it's time to open a juice bar, baby. Let's get it. So here's the thing. What medium are you doing it in? Are you on video posting? Are you doing audio posting? Are you doing image posting or just text?
A combination of all of them. I'm literally, depends on it's really, how do I feel today? Do I feel like doing a Facebook Live? Mostly I'm doing Facebook Lives to get myself, because I had been, I so love face-to-face, in person, that was my favorite workshop. And I was shying away from doing um, something online like that, an online workshop, to the point where, because also I was justifying it as an attendee of a of any online workshop. I was falling asleep in a lot of them because they weren't interactive. They were not interactive. I was literally falling asleep. So that was like, why I'm falling asleep. So people are I was taking that in my room brain of, if I'm falling asleep in somebody else's, people are gonna fall asleep in mine. So that's how your mind plays tricks on you. But I think that this whole situation has given me the juice of, my reality with my wound is that I may not, at least for a while, be able to sit like I used to. So traveling is going to be a challenge. So using this, I'm going to need to use this medium to its fullest extent. Whereas before, years when I was a kid, I was shying away from the word inspiration. As an adult, I was shying away from this medium. So I think this medium has the circumstances are forcing me to become friends with this medium, and to use it to its best extent. I long ago embraced social media in that way. When people were poo-pooing the negativity of social media, I've only seen it as a positive, and I only use it as, I use my power for good. So I need to now embrace this technology when I can't be out there with people because my body needs to rest.
And wouldn't it be amazing if you happened to know a woman who was very techie? Oh, wouldn't it be even wilder if you were a techie woman who knows how to be able to build her own websites, right? Who knows how to be able to support herself? Wouldn't it be amazing?
That would be amazing.
Yeah. Well, how interesting that not only are you an inspirational speaker, but you're also someone who builds websites. Like, you're very deeply techie. This is fabulous. Right? So here's the thing. Here's the thing. Now,
that's what happens when you open yourself up, by the way. So,
I love
knowing
it.
that you may be going through some like somebody like forcing it out of you, like maybe you might have dragged me and kicking into screaming, but I'm ready.
I love it. I'm going to drag you into new heights of pleasure and wealth if you'll stand it. Yeah.
There you go.
I love it. You gave me your consent, so we're going.
Yeah, I'm all in. It's like the best poker game. I'm all in.
Yeah. So with that, let's make this some money. Let's make some money then. So how that can look, we've already, over the course of our money block busting conversation right now, or lightning coaching, however you want to say it, what we've realized is that there is incredible value in juice. In fact, juice is not a luxury. This kind of juice, you said this kind of juice specifically earlier when we were talking, this kind of juice is a necessity.
Yeah.
Without this kind of juice, you're on the shelf, right? Or you're in the suck in Brene Brown terms. So with that being said, we want to give people the ability to access this juice. And it's not just live and streaming, although it could be, right?
Mm-hmm.
But we also want to give them the ability to have it packaged nicely. And so I'm just going to run down a couple ideas of how you can monetize the juice. Is that
Mm-hmm.
okay?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. That's exactly what I need.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
So monetizing the juice. One way to monetize the juice is one where you're not personally getting involved with the people, but you're allowing them to shower you with money. There is a
Mm-hmm.
website called Patreon where
Mm-hmm.
people subscribe to Patreon. They love their influencer or their inspiration, their muse. You are a muse. And
Mm-hmm.
they want to give them money so that the muse can continue to show up and create the art, create the inspiration, create the experiences that the people love watching. But Patreon is something where you are not so much getting involved. Usually the Patreon model is thank you for your donation. In exchange for this level donation, you get this video. Or in exchange for this higher level donation, you get this video series. Or in exchange for this higher level donation, you get this t-shirt with all of the below. And then it goes up. So that's one way to
Mm-hmm.
monetize. Now, I'm going to run through a couple more, but each one, see how it feels in your body as I'm describing each monetization scenario, because
Mm-hmm.
we want money. And in order to receive money, there has to be a vehicle for asking and receiving it. So that's the first one. Another, these are things I'm seeing over your energy. There's thousands of different monetization models, but a second one that I saw was while you are going live, giving people the opportunity to buy the recording of it. So not just watching it on Facebook or not just watching on Instagram or wherever you're streaming, because the internet could just like that pop and go away, and they will no
Mm-hmm.
longer have access to the goddess. They won't be able to
Exactly.
come
Yep.
to the juice.
Mm-hmm.
And so
Exactly right.
we want to remind them that, Facebook, Instagram, or the internet period could pop and go away. And how are you going to get your juice? Here's why. This is sales as service. This is why I'm making this available. Now, how you can make that available is they send you a money, however you receive money. Easy way is Venmo app. They Venmo you a money, and you send them a Google Drive of all of the things, right?
Mm-hmm.
Of if it's videos or if it's audios or if it's books and uh, blog posts that you've written so that they can have it,
Mm-hmm.
right? So that's another item, but also doing that when you are streaming live, saying, and by the way, if you want to own the recording of this so that you can watch it anytime offline,
Mm-hmm.
go ahead and go here, right? Or if you want to
Mm-hmm.
build the like landing page on your website, whatever flavor of receiving money works best for you.
Right.
Another monetization model that I saw around you um, was specifically allowing people to be your off-the-shelf partners. So letting people be on the journey with you. Maybe it's exclusive content, or maybe it's a Zoom group where, all right, we are like, we're regularly gathering together for an inspiration round, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they subscribe to that, right? Perhaps they pay for a monthly subscription or like a larger, maybe 6-month or yearly subscription of being, right, the off the shelf journey partners and having
Mm-hmm.
regular inspiration. So that's another way to monetize this model. Another way to monetize this model is having affiliates. So when you
Mm-hmm.
go to speak, you said at organizations would host you and their people would come and then start following you. When
Mm-hmm.
going to other organizations of people who value juice,
Mm-hmm.
right? And from there, allowing them to become an affiliate or sponsor supporter of your magic work. So the
Mhm.
mother organization herself can sponsor you, or the people who are coming and were gathered by the organization, they get to sponsor you.
Mhm.
So those, what was that, 4 or
Mhm.
5 monetization models? We could keep going, but my spirit guides are telling me to stop and
Yep.
check in with you so that we can start bringing you down to the one thing that you're going to do today to make
Mhm.
more money. All right, what's
Yeah.
dropping into you? Out of all the things that I listed, what resonated the most?
Right now, my anxiety.
Yeah! All right.
um,
Tell me.
of like, okay, for each one that you mentioned, my brain was like, okay, now I have to deliver. What do I have to offer? What, and my brain was going, what will people pay for? What will people pay for? And that was stuck there. And that's where my anxiety is stuck. What will people pay for?
All right, now.
Because I've been giving it away
Blocks,
for free.
blocks.
Because I've been giving it away for free. What will people pay for?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So
So.
I want you to hear me when I say this.
Mhm.
Everybody doesn't know everything that you've done.
Mhm.
Everybody doesn't know everything that you've done.
Mhm.
They really don't. Okay? So one
Mhm.
of the easiest ways to get people to pay is to take all of what you've done and say a certain platform, let's say all of the Instagram posts,
Mhm.
compile them into a document or compile them into a book, right? Or
Mhm.
compile them into an audio or video series and
Mhm.
say, purchase this. Everyone doesn't know all of the things that you've done, but everyone does appreciate it when you make it easy to access all the juice in one package.
Mhm.
So I can tell you from experience, I've compiled a book and I didn't just sell it for like maybe $7 or $12. It sells for $97. And it is a compilation.
Mhm.
I've done hundreds and hundreds of videos over the last 10 years. I know you have too. You've probably done thousands.
Mhm.
With that, I've compiled some of the best on one particular topic, put some
Mhm.
worksheets with it, and then also gave them the option to have like a physical printed copy. $97, it's a product. I didn't do anything new other than packaging.
Mhm. Mhm.
But the anxiety that you're
Good to
having,
know.
yeah, the
Mhm.
anxiety that you're having is around finally honoring and actually receiving money for the juice. Yes or yes?
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm. Absolutely. Mhm.
Okay, now, so
Yeah.
here's the thing.
And you're noticing. You notice I laid down so I could take this in.
Oh yeah, yeah. Like you
Yeah.
talk about exfoliation. Now would be the best time for you to go and exfoliate or meditate.
Mhm.
Which, by the way, is what we're about to
Yeah, we're
do.
gonna do that in 15 minutes. Hello. So
Which
you
is
need your 15
perfect.
minutes. Brother.
Yeah.
Mhm. Mhm.
So now that it's been made real, of like, holy crap,
Mhm.
I have valuable juice, and now I know the monetization models. I know several, and I know
Mhm.
exactly what to do in order to receive money for it, but I'm having anxiety. This is where pleasure is everything. Pleasure is everything. Pleasure is power, because the anxiety is going to cause you to stop dead in your tracks and be like, that was an awesome experience. Wow, I
Mhm.
had some realizations. I'm going to go away.
Yeah.
Right? I'm going to
Yeah.
go and hide in my shell
Mhm.
somewhere. So now,
Yeah.
well, in the work that I do, I call it strategic spa work. You have got to do something to ground and clear your energy to get back into an open and softer space so that you can release the anxiety, ground and clear that out, and then take clear action now that you know what it is. We're probably going to have a part 2 of this podcast. Are you open to it, Goddess?
Totally.
Yeah.
Totally. Let's do it.
All righty.
Mhm.
So with that being said, we're going to leave this in the sauce
Mhm.
where you were going to leave this in the sauce. The recording of this is instantly available in the Entrepreneur Master Manifestors Facebook group, so that you can go and rewatch through that and have all of your emotional meltdowns rewatching it.
That's what I'm going to be doing.
Oh my gosh, I love it so much. And we're going to schedule another time so that we can do a part 2, because the shift that you're having right now and the anxiety that you're having right now, I'm telling you,
Mhm.
there are thousands of people listening and watching and who know and feel the exact same way, goddess.
Mhm.
Right.
Yep.
So thank you for your bravery. Thank you for coming on the podcast today and sharing so openly.
Thank you for everything that you are. So, and I'll see you in like 13 minutes.
We're going to go do a live meditation. We're going to go over to Believe, Inspire, Grow and do a live meditation. So I'm going to turn this now over to our listeners and our viewers. Hey, everyone. If this is your first time joining us on the Journeypreneur podcast, welcome. Thank you for stopping by. Go ahead and hit the subscribe button on iTunes so that you get the notifications first for every single new episode, so that you know what happens next with Andrea's story, right? And by the way, while you're there, go ahead and leave us a 5-star review, because that's where you can comment. And I want to hear it from you. This was episode 133. What was the one thing that resonated the most with you about our conversation, about Andrea's story? Are you in the same boat as her? I want to hear it, right? It's so powerful to come together around our journey. And with that being said, you can find more about me at getpaidtomeditate.com. And we're going to bring this to a close now with the same thing I say every time. Please enjoy the journey. Do not lose your glow as you grow in life and business. And I'll see you in the next podcast episode. Bye, everyone.